like, yeah, like they said,
I'm locked in. Let's do this.
Go time.
All right, so go ahead. Keep going.
The entire ceiling just flash. I was like, no way.
Welcome to The Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in The Firehouse is my boy, Will. What's good, brother?
What's up, King? How you doing?
I'm good. Call him Will Rod. Will Rod in the building. Yo, so Will, do me a favor.
Up,
I want you to tell me, tell the community your name, what department you're in, which is one of the best departments ever. What department you're in, what company, how long you've been in, and what ranks you've held.
All right. So good morning, everybody. My name is William Rodriguez. Everybody just calls me Big Will. I represent,
Willie
that's right, baby. I represent Uniondale loud and proud. I've been here 30 years. And I serve with Protection Company 4 with Uniondale Fire Department.
Okay.
That's me.
How long you been in FD?
I've been in the fire department for about 7 to 8 years now.
7 to 8 years. So you've been in the Uniondale community for 30 years.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. All right. And then been in FD for 7 to 8 years.
7 to 8.
I know you got some stories, brother. And we're going to get into those. We're going to get into those stories. I know you got some stories. But let's start from the beginning. Like, what makes you want to become a firefighter? See, it all started. I was working at a storage location, right? And one guy came in one day. He offered me a job. Some guy. At first, it was some guy, and then I found out who he was, and I was like, "Whoa, you work for this organization?" Okay. That organization was the Queens District Attorney's Office. Okay. He had offered me a position. And I was interested, obviously. He just walked into the storage place and ended up. Y'all talked, and he's like, you know what? I got a position for you. Well, my job in sales is, to sit here and make it look good. So he picked up on that. I was like, we could use that. There we go. Okay. So, he picked up on that, and ever since then, he floated me right over. He was like, yeah, come on over. We'll start your paperwork. And that's how I got my job at the DA's office. Okay. And then, so now you got that. And then how does that go into volunteer? So how does that happen? And I've been saying this mentally like a whole bunch of times every time I look at it. I got the job, during the daytime. It's the 9 to 5. It's like, it's nice to be part of law enforcement. Yeah. But I want to do more. And so, I was like, you know what? I know the fire departments in my neighborhood. So let's sign up and do that. And I say it all the time. It's like day shift Bruce Wayne, night shift Batman. And I'm like, yeah. That's right, because it technically is. That's exactly what it is. So that's kind of what got you decided. But how did you even know about the fire department? Like what? Because there's other volunteer that you can do throughout the community. Right. What made you pick being a firefighter? Like, you could volunteer doing the PTA, you could volunteer with the community organizations, you volunteered to run in the fires. Like what made you pick this? In this world, I'm big and being big has its benefits. That's and I know being put into like situations where we got to throw stuff around and help people out. I'd rather put my talents or my skills to good use. Right. And not only that, I had a bunch of friends in the fire department as well. Andy's probably gonna watch this. So shout out to my boy Andy. Andy, what up? Yeah, and he definitely was a major influence. One day I randomly started playing PlayStation, and he goes, "You should come down one day." And I was like, "Okay." Oh, on the game? Yeah, on the game. On the game. Yeah, you should come to the firehouse. I was like, "All right, yeah." Why not? Pulled up, and then I was like, "Yeah, I like it." All right, so you come in, you get in, and then. How you said 7, 8 years, right? Mm-hmm. So you're in for that first couple of months, right? Yeah. What happens? Like, where's your mind at? Where's all of that? What makes you now want to stay the time that you have? So now mentally, like, not only did Andy put me on, like, so I'm here just like, okay, I don't want to make Andy look bad. That's my boy. Go. Like, I can't, and then there's also the fact that I don't want to look bad. Yeah. So I'm here in the fire department now. I'm looking over the trucks and I'm looking at things. I'm just like, hey, you know what? This makes sense. And of course, here come the older guys. Whoa, what are you talking about? But, that first month, that first 1 to like 3 months, it's like, you're going to get grilled a little bit. And that's part of the game,
They want to make sure you want to be here.
That's it. Yeah, you know. And I think what really made me want to stay was the camaraderie. Because even within that first, like the first couple of months, you would see like the guys who were more established, like sit down and like talk about life and what's going on and what could have happened at that last fire and what we did right, what we did wrong. And I think that type of team building, that type of like camaraderie is what we're all looking for, figuring that type of establishment.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's good. And that's exactly what you get, especially for our listeners. That's what you get, when you're joining the volunteer, firefighters, fire services, you get that camaraderie, everyone, no matter what, like you said, they're in your face, but it's all love. It's all love because they want to make you better. They want you to stay here. So let's get into some stories, Will. What you got for me? I know you've been thinking about it. What you got for me? I know you got some stories because Uniondale, listen, I'm in Uniondale, so I know we got some good stuff that happened. We got some good especially stuff. In the past 7-8 years. I know we got some stuff. So talk to me. Give me 2 good stories. What you got so far? What you got?
I'll give you like, since we were starting off with like, house probation and stuff like that. My first fire.
There we go. Now, just for all the listeners, that is one thing, and I've said this before. Every firefighter always remembers their first fire. It doesn't. You may remember your first call sometimes, but that first fire is always ingrained in your head. But all right, let's go. I'm ready for it.
So let me see. It was not too far from the Firehouse around the corner. Can I give out coordinates? I can't give out.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I just don't give the address. I wouldn't give the address.
It was on Hempstead Boulevard. That's about it.
There we go. That's all we need to hear. There we go.
Yeah, it was on Hempstead Boulevard. It was me and a couple of other guys. Mind you, like, I'm still a rookie, big rookie. But, I know I could throw my weight around, but at the same time, like, it don't mean nothing. Cause,
when you don't know nothing.
Right. I just know I got the water can and a hook. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So I get in. My boys are already like in the search, and I'm over here fumbling with my gloves on, right? But I finally get the gloves on, and they're like, "Yo, take the windows." Right. So I knew that a lot of guys were in the living room. So I get into this environment. It's like dark. It's like pitch black. All the smoke is like caking everywhere. So I'm like, okay, you know what? There was a reason why I said take the windows.
Now, wait, before we even get to that, let's do, you go into the building, right, into the structure, and you said smoke everywhere. Like, what's going through your brain at this moment? This is your first fire. This is real. Like, what's going through your brain? I gotta
help my boys out.
Okay.
My boys is in there right now. They said take the windows.
All right. So you're like, I'm going to go do my job.
Locked in. Like, like they said,
I'm locked in. Let's do this.
Go time.
All right. So go ahead. Keep going.
So I'm in there, water can in one hand and the hook in the other, right?
Okay.
And they're like, all right, so you got to take this window. So, all right. It's one of those big 4-panel like living room windows.
Okay.
And I'm like,
big
okay.
Picture kind of portrait windows. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm over here like the round dome effect area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like a bay window.
Yeah.
Kinda. There we go. Okay.
So we're getting into it, and I'm realizing like a lot of my boys is all over the place. Smoke conditions is heavy. I can't see nothing. Like dark. Like, you know how the water can has like a little glow in the dark thing?
Yep.
There was no glowing.
Why? You couldn't even see the little
glow. There was no glowing. So all that being said and done, I was like, all right, so I don't want to stand straight up knowing that there's like a lot of smoke and heat on top. But I got this water can, and I'm gonna use it as like a battering ram and just clear out the window. Just so I straight cleared out. Boom, boom, one window done. Boom, boom, another window done. I get to the 4th window and I'm looking at like when I started the first window, I was able to see the truck clearly.
Okay, all that came out.
Got to the last window. Oh my God, where's the truck? I'm looking outside. I can't see nothing. And man, like, so I turn back around. I'm like, okay, the windows are clear. I know my boys are still searching around. I look down at my can. I'm like, yo, it's really dark. Like that glow in the dark patch thing. I like wiped it like a little bit, and then I was able to see like
something. So it's the soot and everything from there. Yep.
So then after I look down at my can and I look back up, I'm like, yo, this is pitch black. Like this is pretty bad. I look down for another second, just a brief second. Another check. I look back up to the roof. The entire ceiling just flash. I was like, no way. And like,
So what's going through your brain at this moment? This is your first fire. It's training. Like, what's going through your brain?
Mentally, all right? And I'm going to break it down like this. if it wasn't dangerous, it would be beautiful. Like,
there you go.
You know, it's
just
one of those things. It was
I love the way you put that. If it wasn't dangerous, it would be beautiful to see this. But I'm like oh.
So like I mentally took a screenshot of the moment. Like,
it was.
I was like, wow. I was like, It was good though. Like because what I thought of was like, okay, look. As a probie, I know they say avoid flashover conditions and, got to find your way out if things start flashing, things start going crazy.
Yeah.
I also remember watching like a YouTube video at like one point in time and like they were like, oh, you can pencil with the water can and pencil here and pencil there. So I just tried spraying a little and then I realized, that's not doing it. I'm out of here. So like I literally was like, as soon as like the flashover came over, like I was on my knees already like to begin with. And the flash came over, so I was like, okay, let me rock back to get it like to a lower position. So now here I am on my back, and like, I'm like, yep, it's not good. We're out of here. Crawled right out since I was like right in front of the door, just rolled right out. And then my boys were like, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And
you good. So that rollover was real. That rollover was real.
Yeah. I was like, okay, we learned today.
You learned what a rollover.
That's right.
All right. So I love the way you say you took a mental picture of that. I swear I loved it, that it was beautiful. If it wasn't dangerous, it was like, yo, this is pretty nice to watch.
I'm saying,
So then you come out, everybody's out, and then I guess nobody, y'all did your church, nobody's inside.
Horns was blaring and everything.
Oh, so the horns were blaring for everybody to get out.
Yeah, everybody as soon as like the flashover and everything had happened, it was like, all right, pull out, like we're gonna reassess. But like, everybody at the same time was like, we still don't know. We can fight it.
Yeah, of course,
the bravado. It's what we do.
It's what we do. We're going to want to do that. We can do
it. And it's all right. Because, again, this is the part where, like, accountability takes place. And it's like.
For over 50 years, Fire News has been the preferred publication for fire, rescue, and EMS heroes. Fire News print edition reaches Long Island, 17 states, and the District of Columbia. Visit firenews.com to see the latest news, read their digital prints, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram pages. In print, online, on social media, Fire News has you covered. Visit firenews.com. And if you go ahead and go visit on Instagram, please leave a comment and tell them that WRHU 88.7 The Firehouse sent you.
Yo, my man, you need to relax. We're going to sit here and pull you back. Come on out.
Calm down.
Yeah. So
calm down.
Figure, all that being said and done, like, that's where the Hortons came in and did that job. And they were like, all right, get out of there.
Get out of there and make sure you're good.
We started doing this around and drown, like just to start seeing if we can get into like an area of operation and stuff like that. And we found one and we took care of business. And that was it.
And then took care of business. I love that. So let's back up a little bit, right? I know that you said, your friends was at the Firehouse, and that's why you joined. Like, how about your family? Was anybody in the fire service?
Nope.
What did they say to you when you said, I want to be a firefighter? Because listening to that story, those are the things you see on TV. So I know they're like, this could possibly happen to our little Will or big Will, right? Well, that's what they're thinking. So like, what did they, how did that go?
So Mom, it's really a highlight to Mom because Mom was the one that
shout out Mom.
Mom, my baby, he's running into buildings. It's so dangerous. Like, oh my God, waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning and like turning on my blue lights, my blue responding lights. She would look out the window. She's like, my baby's leaving. I'm like, Mom, I'm just trying to save the world.
There you go. Listen, one day at a time.
But it was for her, it was a little harder.
Okay.
Because she was like, yo, I don't want you to be in danger and you're voluntarily going into danger.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, listen, like you and Dad made me this way. Like, I'm not blaming you guys. I'm thankful for it because now at the end of the day, I'm at least able to give my God-given talent to anybody who needs it. Like,
That's
I'd rather help whoever needs it than just sit around and play games all day. So,
you're right you'd be able to help out and help the community, and like you said, they raised you that way, and that's the reason you're that way. So that's good. I love that. So let's talk about so now you're in, and shout out the company. What company you in?
Protection Company 4.
There you go. Protection Company 4.
Right.
You're in the company. Have you held any ranks yet? Do you plan on going on any ranks?
No ranks just yet.
Okay.
Again, this is that time period where it's like, I'm settling in. I'm seeing.
Okay.
I've seen like a few generations, and I've worked with a bunch of people. at this point in time, like I'm working. The only thing I'm doing right now, I'm a secretary.
Okay.
I'm not downplaying that because
I was about to say because that's the stepping stone. Like that's the first step. Now you're seeing the inner workings of the company. But go ahead.
Yeah. So as a secretary, I'm in the background. I'm sitting here working on these things, and I'm team playing with my boy Andy.
There you go. Okay.
So,
okay.
And Andy has a little more time, so I was like, "Yo, my man, listen, you did me this big favor of letting me in. I'd rather hand this off to you than fight you for competition on this lieutenant thing." So.
Yeah.
Andy, if you're hearing this, you know what I mean.
Shout out to Andy. But that's the stepping stone, and that's the secretary spot is no joke. Like first, you get to learn all the inner workings of the company, and it's a lot of work. It is not easy. Like it's a lot of work that you have to take care of, but you get to learn. I think that's always the best way to start. Secretary, treasurer, then go to lieutenant, then go to that, because then you understand what you're kind of what you're running. Right, but okay, so. Soon come. We haven't done that yet, right? Okay. We haven't done that yet, but there's something that I know that you do, that you are on, or at least were, the disaster preparedness.
Oh, that is something I do.
Okay, so let's talk about that. How did you get into that? Explain what it is, and then explain what your role is.
All right. So currently, I am the chair of the disaster preparedness
committee.
There we go. The disaster preparedness committee is pretty much like your disaster response. Like, for example, we're going to have like an earthquake, or there's a flooding coming by. And what we do is we remind everybody like, hey, listen, this is the type of stuff we're going to need. Be advised, have duty bags ready, prepare yourself at home, remind your family at home. This is what to do just in case. There's also hazmat calls. Like, the ERG books that we were supposed to look at, we're all supposed to look at, we all look at that.
Thick little book that's like this. Yep.
Yeah. Cameron Peak, who actually did a training on it the other day, he pointed out a good thing that you can actually download that same ERG book on your phone, take a picture of a placard, and hey, look, it's there. So, shout outs to him.
Yeah, shout outs to him, and shout out to our listeners that, that didn't know that you can download that on your phone and have it right then and there. So go ahead.
So disaster preparedness is just a big part of, hey, listen, being prepared for all types of situations that, you would have never expected. But now here we are in the situation and we're ready for it. Yeah. Like, I think the saying I always say is, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah. And that's exactly what that is.
That's what that is. So let me ask a question. What made you get into disaster preparedness? Like what made you even get into that? Right. Because there's other facets, you did secretary, you got in there, but what made you want to join that committee? And then chair it.
Right. Well, this is a long story.
That's a long story. Okay.
It really started like, I was coming off of probation and I worked hard for probation. Like it was like, hey, look, I'm doing everything I can, percentage was up there, everything's going good. And I was recommended for the disaster preparedness committee. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but here we are.
You have that servant leadership anyway. So if someone tells you that, you're like, okay, I'll do it. Like, yeah, let's try it.
That's it. So I get in. I think at the time it was you and Lamont.
Okay.
I think
I was the chair and he was the vice chair. Yep.
And man, what a time. It was like I was learning so much. Like it was like, hey, look, we're gonna have these FEMA courses, take these courses, and then from there we're gonna review and we're gonna do this. And
were you in when we went to OEM?
Yes.
Okay, that was a great trip. Man.
Another experience.
We need to do that again, man.
I agree.
I reached out to them, but they didn't reach back out. I actually got a number to a guy, so maybe I'll send that over to you. But go ahead.
Yeah, currently, we're working on some things right now. Okay. We're trying to get the ball rolling again. Figure. There's just some things we got to work on, and that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that takes time. That takes time. But you're there, and you decided to do it, and that's great that you're able to even give more within the services.
Absolutely, yeah.
But another story. What you got for me? What you got for me for another story? What you got?
Another story. Let's see, because I got a bunch. It's like I got to flip through the book and be like, this one on this day. Let me see. What's another good fire or anything really? We had an MVA last night. The MVA last night was pretty good, actually.
Okay, talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It was a nice car too, and mind you, I'm a car guy, so like
it was a nice car too.
Yeah. You know, I work on cars. Like, you know, just a quick brief thing on my dad. Like he was the one who put me onto cars. Like he works with like foreign supercars, so he can sit here and fix a Ferrari. But I say all that to say, when I got to this car, right.
So that, just not to cut you off, but that probably ties into what you do as a firefighter.
Yes, absolutely.
Knowing cars and knowing what it is, that ties in. But go ahead.
Yeah, figure all these MVAs and everything we respond to. It's like, it gives me like, I'd like to say select information, because at least I know like, hey, listen, I know that this suspension here does that part, and this is an active sway bar link, and you can do this, you can hook to this point. But that's where this knowledge comes in.
There you go.
So last night's MVA was it was a beautiful Range Rover HSE. Man,
did they flip it?
It flipped. It flipped. It's on its side, and I'm just like, how did you do this?
That's something for all of our listeners that I know every firefighter always says. It's like, when we pull up to an MVA, it's like, how fast were you going? Like, how did you do this? Like, some of the things we see, you're just like, how is this even possible?
Right.
How did this happen? But go ahead.
Yeah, so one can only assume, these assumptions here, that someone was speeding. And I made contact with two cars, so we looked at the other two cars. All right. But the big attraction of the night was the Range Rover on its side. And here we are, me, my boy Andy, and two other guys. We went, and we're trying to flip this car. Range Rover has like the special like stability thing, because Range Rover is supposed to be like the climbing car.
Yeah.
Besides Jeep,
Yep.
luxury climbing cars. And we're trying to rock it to the side and stuff like that. And because it's built like in a certain fashion, like its center of gravity is like right at its core.
Yeah.
So like you got to pull it at like a certain angle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we tried flipping it on like this tight
Y'all got the tow
block.
truck? Tow truck ain't helping?
Nah, 756 got it, baby.
Okay, there we go.
756.
Shout out to 756.
We showed up and we made it happen. We wedged like a bunch of Halligans in there. We got like different access points on it. So on and so forth. I think the major highlight was like, watching the car flip over, and everybody was like, wow. And I was like, yeah, the shock value is always there. Like, everybody's just like, I mean, there is, I could briefly finish on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The major other one was the one at Hempstead, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So we flipped the car over. My boy Andy's down here. He's looking for like another access point to pull the car to the side. I'm like, Andy, hold on, watch this magic trick right here. Pulled out a piece of paneling. There it is. Look, your towing eye right there. He's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, that's how these cars work. They're hidden behind a shroud.
And that's dope, because it's your experience from your father teaching you about, being a mechanic, that you're able to use this now in what you do. So, that's dope. But now, you said something at Hempstead. What you got? What you got?
Fouts Fire is a family-owned company built on trust. Our trucks are standardized models crafted from years of real feedback, with competitive pricing, top-tier national dealer network, and lead time in months, not years. We're ready when you are. Proudly based in Milledgeville, Georgia, visit Fouts Fire on social media and drop a comment and let them know that the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7 FM sent you.
We had a good MVA in Hempstead. Good one. I love this one, because me and Andy, again, went to town.
We got to get Andy on the show.
Yeah,
He's next.
saying Andy's next. Me and Andy went to town. Acuna was driving, and who else was there? Danny was there. And man, we showed up. BMW had smacked the Honda. And man...
Now, I love to hear this, because we don't get a lot of stories about MVAs. Everybody want to talk about the fires. Like, I want to hear the MVAs, but go ahead.
It's because you see, fires happen like, either they happen a lot or they happen a little.
Yep.
And
MVAs is happening all the time.
Right, exactly.
All the time.
And me being the car guy, I'm gonna sit here and tell you about car stuff. Like, it was. Anyways, Hempstead.
Yes.
So we get to this MVA. This guy, the BMW is like inside of the person's front yard, but everybody's like out of the vehicle. There's one victim inside of the actual vehicle, the Honda. So he's on the hurt side, and we're like, oh no, like, all right, we got to get to work. Hempstead's on the other side of the truck.
Okay.
Shout outs to Hempstead, because Hempstead was doing great work. It's just we had the vantage point there.
Yeah.
North Shore, I believe, was there as well. Like the
ambulance. Yep.
Yeah,
ambulance.
They
corps.
were there.
Yep.
I felt bad because the EMS worker was there, and we were just like, "Listen, I understand you're doing your job, trying to keep the victim stable. However, we need to access this area. So if you could just slide out,
a little bit,
we're just gonna cut this B pillar right here. We wound up going to town and making it happen. Hempstead was working on the other side trying to get an access point, and the way that it operated, like me and Andy took like the doorpost, the door itself, the seats, the center console, steering wheel, everything. Our side of the vehicle wiped. It was like base car. Like you could put it on the manufacturer line. That's how it was. And after everything was said and done, we had our backboard ready, loaded right on, pulled them out. Like literally, like as soon as everything loaded and was successful, all I heard like mentally, when the cash registers goes cha-ching, it was like money, golden, we good. Yeah. So solid work there. Like all of us, everybody on that scene that day was just doing like solid work, and it was 1, 2, 3, like a solid, smooth operation. And you love operations that go like butter. They
go the way they're supposed to go. It doesn't always happen like that, but we love when it does happen like that. Where it's
anything that happens textbook.
That's it. That's a good day. We can go back to the firehouse. All right, so since we are kind of talking and doing that, let's get into a little game called the Flashover. I'm pretty sure you know the Flashover, the game that we play, all right? So basically, I'm going to ask you 2 things, right? I'll ask you Android or Apple. You got to give me your answer, but really quick. Okay? You got it? Now, we're going to do TV shows. We're going to do movies. And we're also going to add in some questions that you don't know of yet. All right. My boy, Big Will, are you ready for the Flashover?
Let's play.
All right, let's do it. Drive the rig in the parade or drive the chief truck in the parade?
I drive the chief truck.
Drive the chief truck?
If it allows.
If they allow. All right, you ready? Do a firefighter calendar photo shoot or walk in a parade, full Class A, and it's 100 degrees.
We doing the calendar. We doing the calendar.
Big Will in the calendar.
We gonna make a sexy calendar.
We doing the calendar. Yeah. All right. Brush fire or rockin' dumpster fire?
Ooh,
big dumpster. I ain't talking no little one. I'm talking them big dumpster fires.
This one hits home because we responded to that fire in Westbury, that garbage site fire.
Yep.
We're staying away from the garbage fire. We're doing the brush fire.
We're doing the brush fire. Yeah. Okay. All right. Basement fire or a warehouse fire? This is coming from truck right now. So where is that with truck? What we doing?
Baby.
Brush fire or basement fire or warehouse fire?
See, I could work with a basement fire because basement fire is a solid operation. We know go in. It's like, but a warehouse, now we're talking about mutual aid. We're talking about surprise traps here. Forget about it. So basement fire because it's 1, 2, 3.
Basement fire. Got you. All right. Here we go. Listen to this one. And we just kind of talked about this.
All right.
A confirmed car fire or an automatic alarm with a light smoke condition.
All right. All right. Listen.
Which one we doing? Confirmed car fire or an automatic alarm with a light smoke condition?
This is where, one of the chiefs go out to the automatic and the truck takes care of the confirmed car fire right there.
There you go.
So we're going to the confirmed car fire.
You're going to the confirmed car fire. Got you. All right. At an installation dinner, if you had a choice,
yes,
and you only could pick one,
okay,
sit with the commissioners, sit with the probies.
You know what? Don't get me wrong. I love my commissioners. They my peoples and them. But our younger guys got to see what the camaraderie is all about. So we bring it to them so that they can come out and join us with the fun. So I'm sitting with the probies.
You're sitting with the probies. Okay.
That's right.
2 hours before a department critique, right? So let's say it's going to start at 11 o'clock. Okay. It is 9 o'clock. You're the captain.
Oh.
You got 2 hours. Do you have the guys clean the firehouse or do you do a training?
2 hours before critique.
Do you have, let's get together and clean, or come on, let's get out here and start training? Which one you doing?
All right.
2 hours before the critique.
We're going to do a little bit of cleaning.
You're going to do a little bit of cleaning.
I figure so that this way, when we come back home, we come back and the house is clean and we good. We can sit down and, you know, after the critique, let's talk about the critique. And,
there you go. I feel like you're going to get the training. A lot of people usually say, oh, no, let's train. But I feel like they're about to go get the training. This house needs to get clean, Joe. Let's get that.
We don't have to be gung-ho. Like at the same time, like, you know, if we're going to go out and do the same thing, like, you know, don't beat a dead horse.
There
like,
you go.
You know, so I'd rather the guys like at least, you know, like smooth it out, warm themselves up. All right, cool, we're out here. And then after that, like, all right,
we hit that critique.
We're good.
All right, let's do these movies.
All right.
And TV shows.
Okay.
Chicago Fire, 911.
911.
911 Third Watch.
I'm sorry, I've been watching 911 all day.
We do.
Yeah.
911 it is. All right. Movies, Backdraft, Ladder 49.
Wow.
It's a good one because
I think Backdraft
going
is for me. Yeah,
you're going Backdraft. Yeah. Okay. All right. You're going the Bible of firefighting. Backdraft.
I just have to.
All right. And the most important question I'm going to ask you today. I already know your answer. You already know your answer, but I still got to ask. Engine or truck?
You know what it is, baby. It's truck.
It's truck all day. It's truck all day. It's truck all day.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your rig though, because your rig got some hoses on there.
Yeah, sure do.
So I don't know. You sure you don't like engine? You want to come over? You look like a good backup man to me. Look like an amazing backup man.
As a disaster preparedness person, I'm gonna sit here and double down on the fact that I'd rather have it not need it than need it and not have it. So
there we go.
You know,
I hear you.
Any type of situation we're ready for, you know, like granted there are days that, like, you know, we never know what we're gonna get. It's you know, 7 a.m. in the morning and there's no engine rolling, you know, and sometimes this the truck we got and we know how to operate the panel, so we're gonna make it happen. You know, I love it when Brookside shows up and they see our hose in the stretch and they're like, oh my god. Like no,
so let's talk about that. Your hose stretched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brookside shows up. Mm-hmm. Do you give him your line or what do you do?
Listen, you know, it depends on who's the panel. You know, if I got someone who's seasoned and knows what's going on at the panel, cool. If I got someone who's like, all right, listen, you know, you gonna need that backup. All right, cool. Should I let the line go and then, you know, I'm gonna sit here and do more truck work on this because I'm gonna do my bread and butter, or I'm gonna do this.
Or you gonna do this? Pick one. Yeah.
You know. So I'm gonna say it's the chef's call.
It's the chef's call.
It's the chef's call.
Okay. All right, got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
Something that you want to debunk right now.
Okay.
A common myth about firefighting that you want to debunk right now.
Okay. Truth is, firefighting. Let me see. Yes, we have every tool you can think of in the world. You know, I love it because I've seen this, you know, TikTok before we get banned on TikTok.
That's for real.
There was this one thing. It said firefighters pull out like magic tools that, you know, we have no idea where, what compartment it came out of or whatever. But next thing you know, he has a crane operator. I'm like, yeah, you know.
We do. And the thing is, we know exactly where each one is.
Mm-hmm. Each compartment, we know the number, label, location. Everything. We got it.
That's like the most important thing for my people that's just joining or thinking about joining in. That's the first thing you do. Before you do anything, go out there and go learn that rig like the back of your hand. That's it.
You know, the one thing that I was always told as a probie was, hey, listen, man, you know, and you know, to anybody who's joining, like, learn this if you're joining. These trucks, you know, as soon as like you get in, you know, make it your business to learn everything about them, because, and I say this with absolutely a grain of salt, it is, learn the truck because there could be a fire or an MVA where you need to learn and know that where that tool is, so that this way, you know, you could save that person's life. Because you know, if the operator of the scene says, hey, bring me this, and you bring them something completely else, and that person's time is now crushed, it's like, you know, so I harp on that just to say, hey, look, you know, pay attention.
You work with those probies and let them know, like, yo, you got to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me ask you another question. Just talking about, you know, we just saying about Brookside and the rig, like all of that, and you know, how do you maintain camaraderie within the fire department, right? You know, there's politics, there's this, there's that, but how do you, I guess, at least in protection, how do you all maintain that camaraderie? I know everybody don't get along every day, so how do you do it?
We stay away from the politics. We know our boys. We make it happen, you know, and this is why I say it, like, I'm proud of my company, because every time I look at us, like, we sit here and we hype each other up. You know what I mean? One of our boys is having a down day. Nah, man, we all having a good day. Forget about that bad day. You know, you made it to training. You made it to family time. It's not even training. Like, it's like Thanksgiving all over again. Because here we are, you know. And then shout outs to my current captain, because Captain Jessica Ellerby. You know,
Jess was on the show.
She sure was. She was on remember the show. That one? She's done a lot. Like, you know, we have like, this was the first time we had a potluck. Now it's like a potluck, potluck at truck for a potluck. I was like, okay. It brought a lot of us together, you know. We're experiencing a lot. Like, this is more so again to harp on the camaraderie and everything, because you know, this is a big part. Like, we always are building our foundation and making everything a lot bigger, and you know, it starts at the base. And building all that, man, it feels so good. You know, it's. You know, if Teddy ever watches this, he did great, man.
There you go. Teddy, what's up, man? We got to get him on this show, too. We're going to get him over here, too. All right. So I got 2 more questions for you. So how in a whole has being in the volunteer, you know, fire service, how has that changed your life?
Wow. You know, before, I used to be that guy that would just drive on the highway and be like, oh, hey, look, a car accident. All right, keep driving. Now it's, oh, my God, there's a car accident. Nobody's here. Do they need help? Like, you know, lights is on. That's right. You know, and like, you know, like I had my girlfriend sits here and looks at this. She's going to be like,
shout out to your girlfriend. Shout out. What's her name?
That's Alexandra Johansson.
Listen, Alexandra, thank you.
Just call her Allie.
Allie, thank you so much for lending him to us, but go ahead.
Listen, you know, there was this car accident in Garden City. Car accidents, it just shows up. You know, this girl just, you know, totally got hit by this big Tahoe, and she was driving like a Hyundai Elantra or something like that. And, you know, my girlfriend's like, oh my God, babe, we should go do something. We were first on scene. No one's there. Cops is like maybe like a good like 5-10 minutes out. And I'm like, all right. And it just so happens that one of my other friends was in the car, and she used to be EMS over in Roslyn, so shout outs to her.
Okay.
And you know, as soon as I got there, it's like, okay, cool, airbags deployed, everything's deployed. First thing I did, e-brake on everybody. E-brake on everybody. So now all the cars are stopped in motion. Nothing else is going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Check on the patients. What's going on? All right, cool.
And this is you just driving by.
Just me just driving by. This is me just driving by. Mind you, like, you know, for my car, what I wound up doing is like, I got like pod lights, you know, because sometimes I like going in like neighborhoods that like don't have the lights. But not for anything crazy. It's just because, you know, I want to light up the road. And I want to see what's going on. You know, these nicer houses.
You're a first responder.
Right, man. Exactly.
This is what you think of.
Turns out that lights, you know, were flashing. Everything's good to go.
Okay.
You know, so everything's going on. I cleared everything, made sure everything was straight. And, you know, the people that in the Tahoe, they jumped right out. Like, they were fine. They were like, yeah, we're good.
We're good.
It was the Elantra I was worried about. You know, which really pulled my heartstrings. It was a daughter and her mother, and you know, they were fine. It's just, you know, the mom, you know, it was like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah, of course, they're worried.
Yeah, so all in all, you know, Garden City Fire Department showed up after
did what they had to do,
but the scene was secure, like, and everything. You know, the
I know they were happy to have you there.
It was just, hey, you know, the right place, right time. And,
right place, right time.
You know.
All right, I got a couple more questions for you. All right.
Sure.
Just, I guess in a whole, but just if there's someone right now that's listening, right, that is thinking about joining or you know is in right now and they're not sure if they want to stay or whatever, what type of advice would you want to give them?
Stay.
Okay.
You know what I mean, stay. Listen, like, if there's ever anything, like, these people are here for you. You know?
Okay.
You know, I can't speak on every single firehouse across America, but I can speak on my firehouse and a few other firehouses that I know of. And if they are a family to you and they're doing right by you, do right by them. Do your part. Help them out. Be that person that, you know, is excited. Because I know for me, anytime the tones go off or anytime there's a chat, like something going on in the chat and like, hey, let's go do something. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You know,
you're ready for it.
It's something, you know, you can't get that camaraderie anywhere else. Like, you know, I know people, you know, maybe go out and join like different clubs and stuff like that. There's no club like this one. You know,
there you go. I like that. Look that right at the screen. Tell them there's no club like the Firehouse.
No club like this one. The Firehouse is the Firehouse. Baby.
That's it.
That's it.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Listen, man, is there anything I'm forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. You know what we can do right now? Shout out who you think should be on this show next.
Listen, Andy. Andy's going to be on here. Put Andy on here because I definitely think, you know, Jess was already on here. So
Jess was on. Jess, well, we got to bring back Jess. We got to bring her back.
She'd be, you know, a featured superstar at this point. So there's
definitely Andy.
There's Andy. I would absolutely recommend Andy. And then, you know, if you can get, I would highly recommend Steve Doherty.
Okay.
Steve
Steve,
you know,
yes.
The
official MC of every single thing.
You know,
but y'all don't know, he is the official MC.
He is the fountain of knowledge.
Yes.
Like, you know, he'll sit here and bring in like whatever he knows, and he'd be more than glad to sit here and talk about it. There's also Mark Siebert. I love Mark.
Yes.
I love him. I think you're gonna say no.
Siebert may not. I had some of his boys from fire marshals that came through. But
you know what?
He might. I might be able to get him.
So if you can make it
if not,
happen,
maybe his dad. Get him on.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. All right, listen. Well, my brother, thank you, man. Good luck for coming through, blessing your presence here. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything like that before we get out of here?
Shout outs to Truck Company.
There we go. Truck in the building.
Uniondale Fire Department. Shout outs to all the hard work that goes on. You know what I mean? And last and foremost, well, I can't even say last and foremost because I can't sit here and not mention my girlfriend. Like,
there you go. You better.
I better. She's gonna be like, oh, you did.
That's how you feel?
Yeah, my girlfriend and my mom and dad, family back at home, you know, just know that I'm working hard.
There you go.
And it's not stopping. You know, you raised a kid that's going to sit here and make it happen, and that's what we're doing. So
I love it. Listen, man, thank you so much for coming down, man. We have just heard from my boy Big Will from Protection Truck 4, baby, Uniondale, about his life as a firefighter. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I am your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week to another great conversation in the Firehouse.